Good evening and welcome. How you doing, everybody? We are working on the 240 today, and we're doing a little bit of water pump swap action. This water pump here been in the car since I pulled it out of the field. I didn't know how old it was. I can't tell if it's a Volvo pump or replacement already. It never leaked or anything, but I was starting to get a little bit of issues where the car would start to overheat and then cool back down after I would activate the heater core, and then it would start to overheat again, cool back down. Did this a couple times and checked out the thermostat, replaced that. Thermostat's good. Then I checked out the temperature gauge inside the car, and there was a little IPD article that tells you how to test that, because the temperature gauge itself goes bad too. So you can test it by getting a hold of that wire right there, that spade terminal that goes to the temperature sensor, which is back in there, and take that spade terminal and connect it to a ground. And once you've connected it to a ground, you can go inside, turn your key to the run position, and the temperature gauge should go all the way to hot, and that lets you know that your temperature gauge is working properly. If it doesn't go all the way to hot when this wire is connected to ground, then you need to fix the temperature gauge circuit inside the dashboard. They have a kit available from IPD for like $8, and it's just a little piece of jumper wire that you like solder in there. But either way, that wasn't the case, and it ended up being my water pump. It's kind of a weird way that this thing failed. Once I pulled it off, there's always a lot of rust in my coolant. I would flush the coolant out and have it be clean, and then it would still come back rusty. And when I pulled this thing off, I wasn't sure that it was failed at first, and then a little bit of a closer inspection, I was able to tell that this impeller wheel here, this is a cast impeller wheel, cast iron, and the bearing inside the water pump failed and allowed the impeller wheel to come forward towards the block, well, actually backwards on the car. But either way, this was like burnishing against the block and creating heating up my coolant, and also discharging a lot of rust into the system. So I was getting that in my expansion tank, getting that every time I drained it. So this thing was just barely rubbing against the block. You can't even really tell. Let's see if there's any marking on there. So you can see where it's a little rusty. I already scraped it with a putty knife and everything, but I'm going to clean that up and get ready to reinstall. I'm also going to replace this tensioner down here. I already unbolted it right there. The alternator tensioner has been fucked up on this car ever since I got it. Once the rubber kind of ejects out of the thing here, once they go bad, and then the tensioner doesn't hold tight anymore. And then this thing will start to collide with the water pump pulley, and you get a little bit of this going on. So I was actually running this tensioner for like over a year, and it still turns in there. Although I was just tensioning the alternator with a big pry bar at the end there. But we got another one from the scrap yard. We'll put that in and see if we get this put back together here. Get it running at right temperature. Alright. We're going to start prepping this water pump to be installed. We're going to do a little conservative bead of, supposed to be blue RTV sealant, but I'm using black. This stuff's like universal. It's just kind of to hold the gasket on there until you install the pump. So a little bit of that. We don't want to put so much that it's going to actually get in there and interfere with the impeller. We just want a little coating to hold our gasket. Alright. Coating, make it complete, no gaps. You don't need any here. There's going to be a rubber O-ring. This is a really cheap water pump that I'm probably gonna regret installing, but unfortunately I couldn't afford the shipping. I could afford the actual pump, but I could not afford the shipping to have a better brand pump shipped to me from like FCP Euro, which is what I was gonna do. So we got the old Duralast here that they actually had in stock, so I just went down to my store, picked it up. It was 35 bucks. Same price from FCP Euro. You can get a $35 pump from them. But we're pretty much ready to go in. Sorry for the red light. Ready to go in here. Let's see if I can do this one-handed. Probably not. All right. So you're going to give you some rubber O-rings with this pump. See here, one on top, the other one I've already placed on the heater pipe. You're going to grease those up before you put them in, a little bit of grease, and insert them. And then you need to push up on the water pump to seal it into that little knuckle on the head there. So we're going to get that going on too. If your water pump doesn't come with studs, then you need to extract them from your old one, which is what I did. It was pretty easy, and one of them is still in the fan. So let's put this thing on here. Enough bullshitting. I cleaned that up with some sandpaper and gum out, and a razor blade, of course. Oh, you know what? I forgot to put any grease on the top of that O-ring. I hope it's not gonna fuck me. So it's a little funky to line up, but I got it on. The studs anyway. I'm gonna need two hands to get that water pump. Maybe I can use my fucking pinky. Boom. Yeah. And there's a bolt underneath here you can't see that kind of clamps that together. I'm gonna use two hands and get this thing seated. Little side note here, yes, I am wearing flip-flops with jeans, but I'm working here with the fucking water pump, and I got this headlight on. I've had this thing for a while. Little Energizer unit, you know, it's like pretty bright. It's fucking, I hear this thing pop, like pow, and I get all scared. I felt the percussion on my fucking forehead, and one of these batteries exploded. This little bastard exploded inside there. It's all covered in that like battery acid. Like I ripped it off my head and I could hear it like hissing. I threw it down. And I was all curious to see which one of the batteries. I thought they were just alkaline batteries, but I think they must be something else, because alkaline's like safe. Lithium ions usually the ones that. Here I go. I'm handling battery acid. No, they are alkaline. You can see the frickin' battery acid on it. I'm just touching it. I'm gonna go wash my hands now. Yeah, get a different flashlight for this job. I got the water pump on. It was like pretty hard to line up. I had to get some better light in there, but it's bolted up. Alright, so you're cruising along on your Volvo water pump install. You're like, alright, brah, I'm getting ready to put the fan back on, man. Don't fucking do it. You're gonna bolt your whole fucking fan on and be like, fuck, I forgot to put the fucking water pump pulley on there, man. So, get that fucking good and in there just about like that, and then pretty much just turn the key and you're ready to rock. Alright, there you have it. Quiet as a church mouse in there. Got the water pump installed, hoses back in, topped up with coolant, such and such. Got it warmed up to operating temperature right now. It looks like it's going to be good to go. Hopefully we don't have any more of this overheating. If it does, I'm going to suspect the thermostat, but I doubt it. I'll keep you guys posted over the next week here. I'm going to drive this thing to see, make sure it stays pretty cool. Thanks for watching. Thanks for watching.